One of our local communities, Saugatuck, I love it there. Hopefully you do too, has been named a top fall travel destination in the United States by domestic travelers by Airbnb. This is really cool news. I am joined virtually now by Alexandra Killam, Airbnb's editorial content lead. Alexandra, thanks so much for joining us tonight to talk about this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Julia, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And so some of the other spots on this list were, some much larger cities than our Saugatuck here in West Michigan: Tulsa, Oklahoma, Cannon Beach, Oregon, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. What landed Saugatuck on this list to kind of be highlighted for fall travel?
Yeah, so Saugatuck has actually also been on my personal bucket list for quite some time. So the fact that it's our one of our top trending U.S. destinations for this fall, certainly is just the inspiration I needed to plan my trip. Saugatuck is of course a great destination, as many folks in Michigan know. It's a great destination to visit to year round. I know it's a huge summer destination. I know it still feels like summer in Saugatuck and the Grand Rapids area right now. But for this fall in particular, we're seeing that Airbnb guests are really gravitating towards the cozy charm of small towns. And Saugatuck really embodies that small town charm, and I think is why it's been catapulted to the top of this top trending US list for this fall. I think some other things that make Saugatuck such an appealing destination for guests is the fact that it has such a beautiful showing of the fall colors once the leaves turn each season. And another thing that I think is particularly unique to Saugatuck that some of the other destinations might not have is the fact that it really has something for everyone looking to embrace all the fun activities that come with the fall season. So, for example, for families and foodies, there's a variety of cider and apple festivals throughout the season that offer things like live music, games, bonfires, and all of the kid-friendly activities to really kick off the fall season. And of course, Saugatuck is known for its really wonderful food and craft beverage scene that draw guests from all over the Midwest and certainly all over the nation as well. Then for those who might be looking for more culture and art, Saugatuck is of course an art capital of Michigan and the Midwest writ large that draws guests from all over the country. And there are plenty of art gallery walks and studio tours that are taking place throughout the fall months that draw artists both locally and around the country. And then last but not least, for those who are looking for some outdoor adventure or simply those that just want to immerse themselves in the colors of the fall season, Saugatuck offers a wide variety of ways to do that, whether it's hiking through the dunes in the state parks nearby, walking through some of the beautiful forests in the area, or even checking out the fall foliage from the scenic waterways that Saugatuck has. So there are many reasons many ways that Saugatuck has been put as a top trending fall travel destination amongst guests on Airbnb this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a couple of times, and as you mentioned, it's so quaint. There's so much to do. Obviously, it's right on the water, which is so nice, but there's many other things that you can spend your time doing if maybe, being along the water or more of those outdoorsy activities maybe aren't your thing. And something interesting that you guys noticed, everyone thinks kind of summertime is that peak time for vacations, trips, traveling, but you guys are finding in your research that fall is kind of also taking up a lot of space for people when it comes to taking trips. Tell me a little bit about why that is and some of the trends that you're seeing there about, heading out for a vacation during these cooler months.
Yes, definitely. So, particularly amongst younger travelers, Gen Z in particular, we're noticing that fall might be the new summer. And when it comes to travel, it seems like Gen Z guests in particular are planning longer trips as well as trips that are farther flung destinations internationally. So, that's been really interesting to see amongst the younger travelers out there. And we think this might be because, typically in fall you can get more travel deals. It's a slightly more affordable time to go visit some of those bigger, like international destinations. But even here at home in the US, I think it's also just maybe a time for folks that want to maybe, again, kind of in the same vein of going to these smaller towns, just maybe trying to find places where they can avoid the crowds, get out of the hustle and bustle that comes with the summer season when everyone's trying to plan their trips, and trying to find ways to either get off the beaten path or find destinations that are a little bit less crowded so they can experience things at a little bit more of a slower pace, and really disconnect from the hustle and bustle of daily life. So yeah, that's been an interesting finding from this year's fall trends as well.
And Alexander, one more question for you before I let you go. You know, especially here in Michigan, we have some spots during the summer where if you're looking for an Airbnb or even, a traditional hotel or motel, I mean, things book months, maybe even a year in advance for some of our really hot spots where people from all over the world are coming, to check out, for example, like the Sleeping Bear Dunes State Park. Any tips for people, whether it's a trip in the next couple of months or they're, already looking maybe to next summer when it comes to using Airbnb? There's some really eclectic finds on there, but they often get swept up pretty quick in advance.
Yes, no, I have so many tips for this. First of all, like plan early and often. I think especially if you're planning with a group, I think using the Airbnb wish list feature is such a great way to start just like as you're kind of scrolling the site, maybe you're not quite in the trip planning phase yet, but you want to earmark some places that are really inspiring or unique or fit your travel needs. Wish lists are more collaborative now. So if you're traveling with a group, you can create a shared wish list where you can actually add notes and feedback on each of the stays that you're wish listing or experiences and services, which Airbnb now offers as well. I also recommend to use search filters when you're looking on Airbnb. That way supply is surface that really meet your travel needs and preferences. And then one last thing too, this is a new tip. Guests can actually now book with a little bit more flexibility on Airbnb with our new feature called Reserve Now, Pay Later. So this is unique to guests in the US for right now, but basically it will allow guests the option to reserve a stay and pay $0 upfront when they book eligible domestic stays. So this is really perfect for those who are planning group trips, who might have multiple people inputting on the destination or stay, as well as those who want to be more budget conscious with their travel planning.
Yeah, I'm sure folks watching right now may already be thinking about next summer because that's just how hot some spots here in Michigan can be. Alexander, thanks so much for your time and these tips. And of course, just for, we earned it, but highlighting a spot here in Michigan is so great to hear about. So thanks so much for your time.